Assalamu alaikum, my YouTube family. Welcome to Gul Knowledge Hub. Hope you are fit and fine. Welcome to a new day with a new video. Today we are going to discuss a very important topic, and the topic is fear of public, fear of English. If you are afraid of English, or if you are afraid of speaking in English, or if you are afraid of speaking in front of the public, in this video I am going to tell you a technique which will eliminate, which will remove all your doubts, all your fears, and you will be quite confident while using this technique, because this technique will not only remove your fear, but it will give you much motivation, it will give you confidence, it will give you the sense of achievement, it will give you a sense of victory. You will feel as victorious by accomplishing this technique. Yes, dear audience, if you are afraid of speaking in English, or if you are afraid of speaking on stage, if you are afraid of any kind of fears, this technique will help you a lot, and you will get rid out of this fear, because all of us want to be confident while speaking English. All of us want to be confident while speaking in English in front of the others on the stage. But what are those fears, and how can we eliminate, and how can we get rid of those kind of fears? Let's discuss these kinds of fears, and I will give you a technique, and by adopting that technique, by using and applying that technique, you will get rid of all those fears. Are you ready to get out of your fears? Yes, you are ready. So first of all, let me discuss something. This technique is based on CBT. What is CBT? CBT is cognitive behavior therapy. This technique is based on CBT. Like a therapist, a patient makes a list with the help of a therapist, and after that he wants to, and he then gets rid of all those fears of behavior. But we are applying this technique to English language. Yes, dear audience, we are applying this technique to English language, and this technique here is called graded exposure. What is this technique? Graded exposure, because we have to grade our fears. We have to make a list of our fears, from tiny fears to great fears, from tiny fears to big fears. We are grading, like grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, and we are making the grades bigger. Like this, we are making our fears from tiny fears to great fears, and minimum we have to make a list of 10 fears. First of all, what you have to do is to make a list of 10. For example, if I have a fear of a cockroach, what would be my first fear? A small fear would be to see an animated picture of cockroach. Let's see. And then there would be another fear. Number 2 kind of fear would to see it original form, in its original form, in its original shape. And what would be the greatest fear in this list? To hold the cockroach in my hand. Oh my God, I am not afraid of cockroach, but I am giving you an example of this. But if we apply this theory, or if we apply this technique, graded exposure, and what is meant by exposure? First we have graded, we have make a list from tiny to big fears. Now what we are doing to do, we are making an exposure. We are going to face that fear, from tiny fear to great fears, because the thing which is missing here is that we are avoiding the fear. We live in our comfort zone and we are avoiding the fear, and when we avoid the fear becomes a monster. Fear is in fact a limited thing, and fear can be controlled, fear can be eliminated, fear can be removed from our lives. But what we do? We avoid the fear. When we avoid fear, what it becomes? It becomes a monster. It surrounds us, it dominates, all our thoughts. So we have to get rid, we have to make an exposure, we have to face this fear, from tiny to great fear. If we apply this theory to English language learning or fear of English, especially fear of English, so what we would do, the first fear, the tiny fear would be to make a line, to speak a sentence in English to myself. Let's assume this. Let's imagine my tiny fear about English language is to make a sentence and to speak a sentence in English to myself. This is tiny fear. This is my low level, a low grade fear, or one tiny fear. And what would be the next fear? What would be the number 2 level fear? Would be to speak sentences to myself, but in front of the mirror. What would happen? I would face myself, and I would face myself from my eyes. This can be my second fear. And what would be the last fear? You have to make a proper list. You can take the help of your mother, you can take the help of your brother, you can take the help of your father or any friend. But it is advisable to make your own list, because it is your own fears and you have to deal with them. But now talk about the greatest fear at this list. The greatest fear would be to hold a mic and to speak in front of the public, thousands of persons on stage. This is the greatest fear. You have to deal with tiny fear. First of all, you have to give an exposure to tiny fear. Speak one sentence in English to yourself. Then speak one sentence in English to yourself in front of the mirror. In this way, you are facing the fear, you are giving an exposure to fear, you are eliminating your fear, and you are in fact grading your fears. When you are used to face your fears would go in vain. Your fears would be automatically eliminated. And when you will tick that I have done this fear, I have done with this fear, I have eliminated this fear, this ticking of those fears will give you a sense of achievement, a sense of victory, that you have done a lot of things. It will boost up your motivation. It will motivate you that you can do all the things. This is called graded exposure. And when you do this, you will see a marvelous change in your personality, because fears are nothing. Fears are fabricated by our own brain. Fear are monsters of our own brain. They are nothing. They reside in our own self. What we have to do, we have to face them. We have to expose them. When we face them, we become quite familiar with them. They become diminished, they become eliminated, they become removed, because we are living in our comfort zone. When we come out of our comfort zone, we face them and we use this technique, this fear will be automatically expelled from our life. So try this method and let me know in the comment section that this ticking, and remember, this ticking will give you a lot of confidence. This ticking will give you a lot of motivation, a sense of achievement, a sense of victory, and you will feel victorious that I have done a great job, I have done a great thing today. And let me know in the comment section how would you find this technique, and you have to apply this technique. This is your homework of today, and you will feel enjoyment, and you will feel that there is no fear inside you and there is only a fabricated monster, and you are able, and you are a hero of your own self, and you can eliminate and remove that fear. Till the next video, stay happy, stay blessed. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.